Let's see. Let's see if it'll pick it back up. I'm sorry. Shit. All right. Something is going on. I don't really know what. I don't know, but I've been told. Shoot. YouTube live ain't got no soul. Hello. Hello. Anybody. Everybody. Somebody. Okay. We got back. I don't even know what happened there. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what is going on. Anyways, we're live on YouTube, Rockfin and Callin. Let's make sure the Rockfin is going. Is the Rockfin going? The Rockfin is going. Okay, the Rockfin. Okay, the Rockfin is going. I'm sorry. It's just been a really struggle session, bit of a morning. So sorry. So hopefully y'all can come back and find the stream. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, Callin, and on Twitter. Okay. Anybody watching on Twitter? I hope this stream is. I don't know what I have no idea what happened. I went to start the YouTube stream and it ended. So it looks like the YouTube stream. Hold on. Where are we? Okay. If you're watching on Twitter, there's two different streams. There's one that's going right now. There's the older stream. And I'll delete the older stream. You guys are watching the new stream. Okay, the new stream is up. I'm sorry. I'm so very, very late today. I apologize. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I started the stream and it just disappeared or it just stopped. It was like, I don't know. Might have been user error. I'll just assume it was user error today, since it's been that kind of a day. Anyways, how y'all doing? Good to see you. We're here. It's very, very late. Late start on a Monday. Me apologies. And we're doing it. We're doing the dang thing, and we're gonna, just do a show. We're gonna do a show right now. How was all of y'all's weekend? Blame the solar activity? Sure. Easy. Done. It's done. The damn son. All right, I see Joseph, William, Osama on Rockfin. I see other people on Rockfin. Victory Jen. Sorry for the bumpy start, guys. I see people on Twitter, watching on Twitter. Thank you for watching on Twitter. Sorry for the bumpy start. All right, hold on one second. Oh my God. Hair down. Here we go. Hair down. Give me a second, y'all. So weird things started happening this weekend. Somebody set themselves on fire at the embassy, the Israeli embassy in DC. That happened. Oh my God. And that was pretty nuts. That was real nuts. let's see. Got the story here. Let's look at this story. There's several pretty nuts stories here. Where is it? I had it right here. I had it right here. Yep. I had it right here. Can't seem to find it. Oh, it's right here. You don't get self-immolation. I don't either, but it's very shocking and I mean a very intense thing to do, right? Wouldn't you all agree? You must be convicted, right? Gene Whitworth says same kind of weird stuff happened this morning on the Grand Theft World podcast. Oh, okay. I don't know, guys. You know, sometimes just things freak out. Anyways, man critical after lighting himself on fire outside Israeli embassy. There were so many kind of different posts about this. Actually, a post from people that knew the man. He was in the Air Force. There was actually video of him, you know, walking to the space. And man, just a really very harsh thing to do. And this article that I have about it is so strange. I mean, the wording is strange. I think you might find it strange. Give me a sec. All right, let's look at it. Man is critical condition after reportedly setting himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. Sunday afternoon. D.C. fire and EMS services were dispatched to the scene. Do you think this might get people's attention about the issue? I don't know. I think that's the point of it, right? You know, hey, this is a really horrific thing that's going on. You know, people are losing their lives here. It's not really a war. It's just a shooting gallery. And, you know, somebody somewhere has to stop this madness before. I mean, isn't this the thing that we, you know, fought an entire war over at one time? You know, we heard from around the way, right? We heard a couple things here and there. We heard from around the way that like people were just, you know, just slaughtering people. And we were like, that's madness. You can't do that. Freedom and democracy and human rights and stuff. You shouldn't, you know, people shouldn't be doing that. And you know, we fought an entire war over this, just this thing that's happening right now. And yet everybody, you know, the most people can muster is like, golly gee, this sure is bad. You know? Um, or oh my, whatever shall happen to the people, the Palestinians? Maybe they deserve it. That's it. That's the worst part of it. The worst part of it is that there's this kind of, I don't know, this attitude that like, or what's being propagated is the idea that they deserve it, which is, you know, narcissistic abuse 101, narcissistic gaslighting 101. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know, we've decided that you, helpless person who is just trying to live and who is being, you know, abused and occupied and cut off from food and medical aid and bombed endlessly and shot at endlessly, we decided that you somehow are you must be doing the bad. You're the terrorist. You're in the wrong, and so therefore you deserve to get slaughtered even more. So how about that? People seem to be, and people everywhere are aghast in horror of this. You know, they just. I see endless posts and videos and film and people and countries all around the world, dignitaries all around the world, international courts all around the world. Hey, yeah, this is what you're doing here. This is illegal, and also horrific, and also a human rights violation, also a war crime, also, you know, etc. Fill in the blank. You know the deal. So this man, I said the man in this article. They're calling him a man. He's a U.S. Air Force soldier, right? This headline says man critical, a man who in critical condition. This man set himself on fire. Why did he set himself on fire? Well, they don't say. The man was not known to the embassy before the. I mean, this is wild. They didn't say why he lit himself on fire. They didn't say who he was. They didn't say that. They didn't include that he was an Air Force, a member of the Air Force. I mean, so how gaslighty can you get? I actually feel like they changed the wording of this article since I first looked at it. I mean, just wild stuff, guys. Wild, wacky, you know, SH, as they used to say. Wild, wacky stuff, as Johnny Carson used to say. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. But that's how much, you know, that's how the New York Post is covering it. The New York Post supposedly, I don't know. You think the New York Post would have some more to say about it than that? They're like, the guy let himself on fire. That's all in front of the embassy. We don't know why. No, he lit himself on fire in protest to the war, or not the war. It's not a war. The slaughter. In protest to what's going on in Gaza. His name was Aaron Bushnell. He has now died from his wounds. He set himself on fire in protest of what was going on in Gaza, and he is now dead. This same article, they changed this whole article because when I read it earlier, it said something weird like he was rushed to the hospital, but then they also said something to the effect of he was put out of his life by the Secret Service. Something like there was a weird sentence in there that just seemed like not. It was just slapdash, just in there somewhere. It said he was put out of his life by the Secret Service. I was like, what? This was a sentence right after they said he had been transported, and now they changed the wording of the article. So now I don't know that I can find it. But I did read it. That's actually what I read. I wouldn't make that up. They said he was put out of his life by the Secret Service. I was like, wow, so what happened? Was he rushed to the hospital, or did they take him out? I don't know. I was confused. But those are, some very intense convictions, and all honor to this person who was willing to do something like that. De-alived, something like that. It was so weird. I was like, what? You guys put this article out and you said something about he was put out of his life by the Secret Service? Put out of his life. What? Anyways, horrific. And horrific that it has to come to this. That this is where we're at now. That people are so incensed and just driven to madness, literally. I don't think it was an act of madness, but I mean, you have to be just so crazy with grief and anger to do that to yourself. From holding Biden accountable, wiping Palestine off the map isn't enough for these genocidal ghouls. Biden and Netanyahu want to escalate this colonial bloodshed across the region and beyond. $14 billion U.S. aid package for Israel, crafted to prepare. This is an actual headline. Crafted to prepare for multi-front war, not just Gaza. Well, all right. Glad you guys are planning ahead. Glad you guys are being proactive. You guys are just so darn, got your stuff together there, Jax. It's wild, man. It's wild. People are, and here's another thing, and we talk about this every single day on this channel. That people are done with. People are just. Everybody is over all of this, in such a huge way. People are like, oh my God, inflation is out of control. People are homeless and starving and losing their, losing their jobs and finding it difficult to survive, and right, people are having real issues just living. And just every day is a headline about we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. We're passing another aid package to Israel. I mean, this administration is so out of touch with the, what is going on in the country and what is going on in people's hearts and minds. They're so out of touch. They're just like, well, this is what we're doing. People have real concerns over, everyday kind of stuff. But this is what we're doing. This is what's important. This is the thing we're going with, which is it's absolutely insane, and people are pissed. So it must be that they're planning on just continuing this regardless of, you know what I mean? It's just like, hey, we're in power. We're the people in charge. We're doing, we're passing the bills and writing the checks, and we just don't care. We just don't care how you feel. We have absolutely no care and concern for what's going on with the American people. We don't care. It is freaking wild. It is freaking wild. It is out of control. It is so wild. I mean, they're not even really feigning concern. That's the thing about it. That's, they're not even really like doing a good, they're not doing a good job of even going like, well, we really, they're not even like coming out and say, we know the American people are hurting and they're concerned. And, I mean, they do kind of once in a while come out and go like, golly, what is happening in Gaza sure is horrible. We really are worried about how crazy it is there. But I think what we need is more bombs and military aid and guns. And also we're gonna discontinue relief aid for Palestinians because, reasons and stuff. It's just wild. It is wild. Anyways. Yes. Okay. Okay. So that's happening. Just maybe the people in charge all understand that, I do believe, and I'm of, pretty high confidence. We'll use their phraseology here. I have high confidence that the reason they're doing this is because they know that things are about to collapse, whether that be economic or environmental or whatever. There's just a multi-front collapse kind of in the offing. They know this is they know something is coming, or some people might even suggest that they're arranging for something to be coming. I don't know. You be the judge. That's judge, not dudge. What say you? Multi-front collapse, possibly. Yeah. And so the latest billionaire trend, doomsday bunkers with a flammable moat. You know it's all the rage. You know your friends have doomsday bunkers. They're building them in their backyard as we speak. And what goes better with a doomsday bunker than a flammable moat? Sure, you like to have your neighbors over for a barbecue once in a while. But maybe you don't want them coming over when the apocalypse hits. Maybe your friends weren't so willing to lend a hand or a shoulder when you were putting in those extra hours on the weekend building your doomsday bunker. Maybe they laughed at you. Maybe they said you were silly. Maybe they told you, good luck with that. Well, you might have had a seat for them in your doomsday bunker. But seeing as how they treated you when you were building it, what they get is a flammable moat to keep the riffraff out. Food will be scarce. Anyway, so they're building the is all this bunker building a sign that the 1% know something we don't and are preparing for the end times? Say no more. Say no more. What's your plan for the apocalypse? I'll tell you what mine is. Death. I'm not really built for battle. I need 5 cups of coffee just to function. Cheers. And I have terrible allergies. My body can't even handle pollen. It's not going to do well with nuclear war. Plus, even if I was hardier, who wants to live a few extra months in a completely destroyed world? And that is a really good question that some people have said, yeah, maybe I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to apocalypse my way out of the apocalypse. Maybe I don't want to Mad Max my way out of the end times. Maybe I just want to throw myself in a flammable moat and end it. Billionaires do. Who wants to live a few extra months? Billionaires. As you've probably noticed, bunkers have become the ultimate status symbol amongst the 1%. The bunker craze, accelerated by the pandemic, has been going on for a while now. However, I'm starting to think a bunker fever is getting out of hand. The rich are no longer content with the run-of-the-mill $500,000 survival shelters. They're taking things to the next level, a development which should probably worry us all. Look, for example, at Mark Zuckerberg. In December, Wired published an in-depth report detailing how the Meta CEO had been constructing a 5,000 square foot underground shelter on his 1,400-acre compound in Hawaii. Very normal. Very cool. According to planning documents reviewed by Wired, the compound will be completely self-sufficient with its own water and food supplies. The price tag for the entire project is over $270 million. It's a lot of money. It's also shrouded in secrecy, and people involved with the project are bound by non-disclosure agreements, otherwise known as NDAs. The only time you see that is, or the only other time you see that is when you're doing secure military installations, when local construction, that's how I like to pronounce it, industry official affiliated with the site told Wired, I can't speak also, for a private project to have an NDA attached to it is very rare. I don't think it's that rare, especially if you're working for a bazillionaire. I don't think it's like super rare. I feel like NDAs are standard operating procedure, don't you? Anyways, because of all the secrecy around Zuckerberg's shelter, it's not clear exactly what sort of dystopian mechanisms are in place to ensure the plebes can't break in. However, Al Corby, president of Strategically Armored and Fortified Environments, SAFE, Strategically Armored and Fortified Environments, that's cute. That is cute. Hello. Welcome to SAFE. How may I help you? A Virginia-based bunker company recently told The Hollywood Reporter that his clients have been coming up with a cunning way to ensure their luxury apocalypse retreats can't be breached by the great unwashed. One of the projects Corby is working on for an unnamed business mogul is an island fortress with a flammable moat. Try and breach it, and it bursts into flames. Yeah. All right. Fun times in the end times. Super cool. Yeah. Super cool, bro. All right. Anyways, we wound up literally building a 30-foot deep lake around the compound, skimmed with a lighter than water flammable liquid that can transform into a ring of fire. A ring of real fire. Yeah. Let's see. Yep. Hold on one second, guys. And, yeah. Fire good. Fire good. And, stuff like that. The only access to the island is a swing bridge, and of course there is also backup water cannons to keep the pores out. Corby enthusiastically noted that the cannons can also be used for recreation as well as waterboarding invaders. They can generate... I mean, I feel like this is real. Amazing. So cool. We can generate waves for a fun game of flag football on jet skis. I think all this is a bit of a joke. But, I mean, or maybe that's real. I don't know. Can high-powered cannons generate waves? Never heard of such a thing, but sounds pretty cool. Yeah, that's real cool, guys. Real cool. Real cool. Let's see. Hold, please. Thank you. All right. Is all this bunker building a sign of the 1%, that the 1% know something we don't and are preparing for the end times? Podcaster Christina Randall, who has over 1.58 million subscribers, so that means she knows what she's talking about, I guess. I don't know. She thinks so. Randall, excuse me, Randall recently observed that Zuckerberg's reported bunker is one of approximately 15 end of days projects being undertaken by billionaires worldwide, and said the biblical book of Revelation, which predicts the end of the world, is being fulfilled. Revelation 6:15. Listen to this. Revelation 6:15 says that the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and every slave and every free man, is that everybody? Hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. That's interesting. Don't you think? Because if the environment goes south, goes crappy, if the weather gets really crappy soon, and you guys know it's very likely, well, where are people going to be driven to live? They're going to live in caves. They're going to live in they're going to have to grow their food underground, right? So that's an interesting quote from the Bible. I'm not sure the book of Revelation is particularly authoritative source, but even disregarding that, there are lots of prophets of doom out there, and plenty of reasons to be pessimistic about the state of the world. There's a famous quote in tech circles often attributed to William Gibson. The future is here, it's just not evenly distributed. That's true of disaster as well. While billionaires worry about an upcoming dystopia, people in Gaza are living it. Gaza has become a death zone. Tedros from the WHO said. Tedros Ghebreyesus, I don't know, the WHO Director General, recently said at a press briefing in Geneva, the children starving to death in Gaza don't have an underground bunker to run to, as the 1% create full-scale hospitals in theirs, just-in-case bunkers. Yabba dabba doo. Anyways, as the 1% create full-scale hospitals in their just-in-case bunkers, people in Gaza are dying of malnutrition and easily treated diseases. While the rich stockpile food in luxurious shelters, more than 500,000 in Gaza are at risk of mass starvation. As the U.S. government, which could stop all of this suffering very quickly, is shrugging its shoulders. That's true. Ding, 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 ding. That is true. It's a big old shoulder shrug from the people who care about democracy. Right? Am I right? Anyways. Well, that's what's happening. Zing says, FYI, Kevin, I've tried to watch on Twitter and it never works for me. What do you mean it doesn't work? I don't know what you're saying. It's a video. It's just playing. Do you mean the video doesn't play? It's like I feel like Twitter would be the easiest place, but maybe not. Excuse me. Anybody watching on Twitter now? You guys have an issue watching on Twitter? I just can't tell because it doesn't look like anybody's watching on Twitter right now, but It will buffer and stop. Oh, it does the Twitter thing. It does that Twitter thing. Yeah. Where it buffers and stops. Yes, I know. I know exactly what you speak of. I know exactly the thing that you speak of. And it's frustrating. Sure. 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 Do you want me to say sure again? How about but of course? Yeah. Um. Yeah. It is some. Well, let me just say it's some boo. Some straight up boo. That is some bull. All right. YouTube works. Yeah, sometimes I mean some videos they buffer for me on Twitter. I get it. I mean I try to watch some things on Twitter and they kind of flip out, freak out. It doesn't quite work. you know, you know, it's really frustrating. You know. What's going on, Rockfin? Checking in. Checking in. What is this? Jacob Collier. Yeah, Jacob Collier is pretty great. The walrus is Paul, indeed. But there's a good chance caves will be a really cool place to live, right? I don't know about bunkers. Mergers and acquisition. What is going on? New guidelines for mergers and acquisitions, which will restore competition and strengthen democracy. That means that they are gonna. It's gonna do the exact opposite, right? Is that what that means? I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go with that means the exact opposite is going to happen. That means mergers and acquisitions are just going to just be a helter-skelter mess. Yeah. The new guidelines provide a roadmap to bringing first principles of the antitrust laws into the 21st century. Yes, of course it's total bullshit. Because nothing that, they, They, nothing they do these days is actually helpful, legitimate. As I've always said, if they're every time they pass a law, it's like the freedom to freedom the everybody gets a puppy act, right? This new legislation will give everybody a puppy, right? Oh my God, this is the best. I love this government. Our government, this administration is really doing something for the people, right? Because they're going to give everybody puppies. The Give Everybody a Puppy Act. I mean, come on. Right? Obama was just trying to give people health care. And, it's either the Biden administration or some other administration will try to give everybody puppies. And, they're just trying to give everybody puppies. But what that means, the Give Everybody a Puppy Act would literally be a bill that would allow, any authorities to come into your yard and yank your puppy from your grasp and say, we're taking this puppy. You can't have this puppy. This puppy is not for you. You thought you were getting puppies, but puppies is exactly what you're not going to get. So, sorry for your luck. The Give Everybody Puppies Act would be the exact opposite. So yeah, that's how it works these days. Everything that they pass is the exact opposite of the thing they're trying to do. And, it's a little annoying because we see how this is working, right? All the time. With the taking away the puppies. They're trying to take away your puppies, guys. That's what they're trying to do. I know it. You know it. I think you can see it. They don't want you to have puppies. Bastards. Those freaking guys. Yeah. I'm just reading some. Yeah, I noticed I started the show late, and we're kind of just meandering through some stories here. Yeah. Denver, all very good points. I wish I could read comments on Twitter, but that would require me to verify myself, and I'm not going to do that. I know plenty of people are in the verification game. Do you notice that all the channels are trying to get you to verify? Verify. Go ahead and sign up and verify. Like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and all the channels are trying to get you to to verify your likeness. Is it really you? And I've heard that not to do that. I've been told by several people, don't do that. Because what they want to do is basically get everybody all identified on the internet. You can't surf sites. You can't go anywhere. You can't get any information. You can't do anything on the internet without having your super cool, super good internet ID going. It's just another way to stranglehold people into the digital gulag, as it were. So I can't see any comments on Twitter because I'm not going to verify myself, and I will not. And if you're on Instagram and they're like, hey, there's a nice friendly, waving kind of ad. Hey, come over here and verify yourself. No, just don't do that. Just don't do that. I'm just suggesting don't do that, because soon they're going to require, right now it's a, hey, it's so cool if you're verified, it's the best. You get the better stuff if you're verified. they're trying to make it seem like something you just do willingly. You get extra stuff. If you're verified, it means good things for you. But eventually, what they're going to do is require you to verify yourself in order to do anything on the internet. And this is just a step towards that. So the thing to do is to not verify now and resist it at all points, at all costs, and just say no to the verification. The mandated, because the soon to be mandated verification, right? Soon it'll be a mandate. It won't be voluntary, just like other things that started out voluntary, and then they were like, well, it is totally your choice, but if you don't get it, you're not going to be able to keep your job. So it's totally your choice, but if you do choose the wrong choice, you will lose your job. So, it's totally your choice to verify yourself, but should you choose not to verify yourself, you will lose access to all of your online, your favorite online apps and friends. So, again, it's totally your choice, completely voluntary. Just don't choose wrong. Yeah. So the way around that, the way to go is to resist that now. Resist it now and resist it. I don't know. It's hard though, because it's like people that verify themselves on Twitter, it's like good for your business. I run a business. I can do so many things on Twitter if I just verify. All right. They try to make it really, the incentives very incentive-y. Excuse me. They tried to incentivize the incentives. What else are we talking about today? We got a couple minutes left. I started late, so I'm gonna go. But it's also a little like who said it? Several people have said it. The creeping totalitarianism. I mean, Chris Hedges, Noam Chomsky, all kinds of people. What's his face? Jordan Peterson. All kinds of commentators, prognosticators, thinkers, thunkers, spelunkers. All kinds of people have said, like, they go forward a little bit, and people go, I don't know about that, and then they go back, and then they go forward a little more. People go, I don't know about that, and then they go back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, solidarity, people. Or as some people have suggested in the past, stick it to the man. Technology favors tyranny. Also, we're gonna read the last paragraph. It is funny-ish. Of what? Of what I was just looking at? Oh, yeah. Were you reading it? I didn't mean for this column to be a downer for everyone. There is some good news. Robots may take us all out before World War III, or the climate crisis does. Eliezer Eliezer Yudkowsky, an artificial intelligence researcher, recently told The Guardian that we should start laying out the red carpet for our machine-based overlords very soon. I mean, probably. If you put me to a wall, Yudkowsky mused, and force me to put probabilities on things, I have a sense that our current remaining timeline looks more like 5 years than 50 years. Wow. Could be 2 years, could be 10. While that seems a tad alarmist, you don't have to be a doomer to worry that the rise of AI is going to trigger even more instability in an already fragile world. It seems beyond debate that we should all be taking the meteoric rise of AI very seriously. I'll tell you what is up for debate. What is up for debate, though, the very serious question of whether sentient robots are capable of breaching flammable moats. I say yeah. I say yeah, they are. Because the sentient robots, they're super cool. I want a sentient robot friend in school to help me with my homework and get me through the day. So get your sentient robot today. I don't know. I thought it was a good song. What do you think? I'm going to start writing jingles for AI, but I'm going to have AI write the jingle for AI. No? I used to be a pretty good jingle writer. Then AI came along. And AI can write outright my jingle writing any day of the week. Now I'm an unemployed jingle writer. John Jacob, jingle writer Schmidt. You ever heard of him? Oh, yes, you have. He was one of the very best. He's one of the very best. Nobody could write a jingle like John Jacob, jingle writer Schmidt. Why, he could write a jingle 3 points down. In 5 minutes. And it would be the best darn jingle you ever had. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Man, I know I have some. Oh, I think Fantoma sent me this. Mexico City is about to run out of water. Did you all know that? Mexico City's got a lot of people in it. Can I get a headline here? One of the world's biggest cities may be just months away from running out of water. Alejandro Gomez has been without proper running water for more than 3 months. Sometimes it comes on for an hour or two. Excuse me. But only a small trickle, barely enough to fill a couple buckets, then nothing for many days. Gomez, who lives in Mexico City's Tlapan district, doesn't have a big storage tank, so can't get water truck deliveries. There's simply nowhere to store it. Instead, he and his family eke out what they can buy and store. When they wash themselves, they capture the runoff to flush the toilet. It's hard, he told CNN. We need water. It's essential for everything. Water shortages are not uncommon in this neighborhood, but this time feels different. Gomez said. Right now, we are getting this hot weather. It's even worse. Things are more complicated. He's talking about hot weather in February, right? But as I said, as I've said many times, regular people just alive who walk outside and can feel the heat are like, hey, it's hotter. It's hotter in the world. No, Alejandro. That is a hoax. That is a hoax. That is the World Economic Forum. Just telling you that climate change is a thing, and don't you worry about that. It feels hotter, but don't worry about it. It's a hoax. Or it'll be good for you later. I know you don't have any water, and it's hot, and it's really hot, and you don't have any water. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's a hoax. Don't worry, Alejandro. Everything's gonna be great. He says right now we are getting this hot weather. It's even worse. Things are more complicated. Mexico City, a sprawling metropolis of nearly 22 million people and one of the world's biggest cities, is facing a severe water crisis as a tangle of problems, including geography, chaotic urban development, and leaky infrastructure, are compounded by the impacts of climate change. Years of abnormally low rainfall, longer dry periods, and high temperatures have added stress to a water system already straining to cope with increased demand. Authorities have been forced to introduce significant restrictions on the water pumped from reservoirs. Several neighborhoods have suffered from a lack of water for weeks, and there are still 4 months left for the rains to start, said Cristian Dominguez Sarmiento, an atmospheric scientist at the National Autonomous University in Mexico. Politicians are downplaying any sense of crisis, but some experts say the situation has now reached such critical levels that Mexico City could be barreling towards day zero in a matter of months, when the taps run dry for huge swaths of the city. Anyways, densely populated Mexico City stretches out across a high altitude lake bed around 7,300 feet above sea level. It's built on clay-rich soil into which it is now sinking and is prone to earthquakes and highly vulnerable to climate change. It's perhaps one of the last places anyone would choose to build a megacity today. But people are flocking there. Mexico City is so awesome. I don't understand why people go to Mexico City, Las Vegas, Phoenix. People are like, yeah, man, this is great. You're not going to be there for long. There's a time limit to how long that good living is going to last for you. Because, yeah, it's going to kind of suck pretty soon. The Aztecs chose the spot to build their city, Tenochtitlan, I guess that's how you say it, in 1325, when it was a series of lakes. They built on an island, expanding the city outwards, constructing networks of canals and bridges to work with the water. But when the Spanish arrived in the early 16th century, they tore down much of the city, drained the lake bed, filled in canals, and ripped out forests. Awesome. Good old European architecture. What really sucks is this fresh flowing water. It's like, I mean, that's so par for the course, right? What's horrible are these, natural lakes here supplying us with fresh flowing water. What we need to do is drain them and fill them in with dirt, and then we can build things on top of it. Won't that be great? Super cool. Anyways, they did that. Their decision paved the way for many of Mexico City's modern problems. Wetlands and rivers have been replaced with concrete and asphalt. Sounds good. In the rainy season, it floods. In the dry season, it's parched. Around 60% of Mexico City's water comes from its underground aquifer, but this has been so over-extracted. The city is sinking at a frightening rate, around 20 inches a year. 20 inches a year, Jesus, according to a recent research. And the aquifer is not being replenished anywhere. 20 inches a year is like sinking, literally just sinking into the earth, into a, what are they called? Sinkhole? And the rest of the city's water is pumped vast distances uphill from sources outside the city in an incredibly inefficient process during which around 40% of the water is lost through leaks. 40%. Again, Western technology and ingenuity to the rescue. We're going to replace this natural, lovely working ecosystem with an inefficient, leaky, costly one. And that'll be great, right? Right. The Cutzamala water system, a network of reservoirs, pumping stations, canals, and tunnels, supplies about 25% of the water used by the Valley of Mexico, which includes Mexico City, but severe drought has taken its toll. Currently around 39%, it's around 39% capacity. And it's been languishing at a historic low. It's almost half the amount of water that we should have, said Fabiola Sosa Rodriguez, head of economic growth and environment in the Metropolitan Autonomous University in Mexico City. In October, Conagua, the country's National Water Commission, announced it would restrict water from Cutzamala by 8% to ensure the supply of drinking water to the population given the severe drought. Just a few weeks later, officials significantly tightened restrictions, reducing the water supplied by the system to nearly 25%, blaming extreme weather conditions. By 25%, not to 25%, by 25%. Measures will have to be taken to be able to distribute the water that Cutzamala has over time to ensure that it does not run out. Herman Arturo Martinez Santoyo, the Director General of Conagua, said in a statement at the time. Around 60% of Mexico is experiencing moderate to exceptional drought, according to a February report. Nearly 90% of Mexico is in severe drought, and it's set to get worse with the start of the rainy season still a few months away. We are around the middle of the dry season with sustained temperature increases expected until April or May, said June Garcia Becerra, an assistant professor in engineering at the University of Northern British Columbia. Natural climate variability heavily affects this part of Mexico. 3 years of La Nina brought drought to the region, and then the arrival of El Nino last year helped deliver a painfully short rainy season that failed to replenish the reservoirs. The long-term trend of human-caused global warming hums in the background, fueling longer droughts and fiercer heat waves as well as heavier rains when they do arrive. Climate change has made droughts increasingly severe due to the lack of water, said UNAM's Sarmiento. Added to this, high temperatures have caused the water that is available in Cutzamala system to evaporate. Last summer saw brutal heat waves roil large parts of the country, which claimed at least 200 lives. These heat waves would have been virtually impossible without climate change, according to the analysis by scientists. The climate impacts have collided with the growing pains of a fast-expanding city. As the population booms, experts say the centralized water system has not kept pace. Crisis has set up a fierce debate about whether the city will reach a day zero, where the Cutzamala system falls to such low levels that it will be unable to provide any water to the city's residents. Local media widely reported in early February that an official from a branch of Conagua said that without significant rain, day zero could arrive as early as June 26th. But authorities have since sought to assure residents there will be no day zero. In a press conference on February 14th, Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said the work was underway to address the water problems. Mexico City's mayor, Martí Batres Guadarrama, said in a recent press conference that reports of Day Zero were fake news spread by political opponents. All right. Whenever somebody says something is fake news, my ear is immediately harder, right? That phrase fake news immediately kind of conjures up real news or something like that. Or something like that. Yeah. Don't you believe it? What do you think, guys? Day Zero just around the corner? What you all say to that? Sound like some fake news to me. Some old hogwash. Some old bullpucky. Bullpucky. I love that phrase. Man. Deline Parole says America has 93 nuclear reactors. 93. One reactor uses or contaminates 476,500 gallons per minute. One reactor. That is astounding. That is a mind-boggling amount of water. Same water evaporates into our environment and is consumed, just saying. Yes, Mexico City is one of the most populated cities in the world. There's how many people? Oh, just like 20 million people in Mexico City, something. Huge population. Oh no, I was way off. 10 million. Oh, that's a lot of people, though. Why did I think it was 20 million? No, I was right. Wikipedia says the city proper has 10 million people in it. The Mexico City population, according to the World Population Review, is 22 million. So I was actually right. I was pretty close. 22 million. So that's the area of Mexico, right? It's kind of like LA. The population of LA is, I don't know what it is. I'm going to say 5 or 6 million or something, but in the whole area, it's, maybe it's less than 5 million in LA proper, but the LA area has, I think the LA area is around 6 or 7 million. Anyways, a lot of people, 22 million people in Mexico City. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. 22 million. But just in the city alone, 10 million people in the city alone. Let's see. Let's look up Los Angeles. Los Angeles County. Oh, 10 million. So, yeah, actually, yeah. So, 10 million people in Los Angeles County. That's a lot. The city itself. So I wasn't actually. My first guesses were not too far off. 4 million residents in the city limits of LA. I was off a little bit there, but 10 million in the area. So Mexico City is like twice that. Twice the entire population of LA County. How y'all doing? All right. Mexico City is very high up there above sea level. Yeah. Yeah, and you wonder how they get. I mean, think of all the resources that are needed to feed and give water to 22 million people in Mexico City, right? And it's they're landlocked, aren't they? So, I mean, there's a lot of right shipping and delivering of goods and services to keep all those people going. All right. Well, guys, I think that about does it for me. I again super late start today, and I apologize for that. Just had a lot of things happening like all at once, which happens a lot of mornings. I have many things going on in the morning, and so if one or two things kind of spiral out of control, then like everything gets out of control. Anyways, all that being said, disclaimers aside, I will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I will not be as late as I was today. I'll be here at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you guys want to support the channel, you know that there are links, direct donate links below. All the links. There's Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, and all that stuff. Oh, thanks, Schulte. Yeah, this sweatshirt as well is free, so it's the nicest kind of sweatshirt. Anyways, you guys know how to donate. You can Super Ray on Rockfin. You can Super Chat on YouTube. And I'll see you guys at the regular time tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be back on all the channels, Callin, Twitter, everywhere. All right? And until next time, peace.